This video is about the key principles that are used in critical discourse analysis. Let's start. Key principles in critical discourse analysis. Let's talk about the principles that CDA is based upon. The first principle that CDA is based on is language is a social practice. It means that language is not neutral. It reflects and shapes society. For example, the term economic migrant versus refugees versus flood of migrants or untrained migrants influence how people perceive a person's reason for moving. So these words carry meanings with them. They create some particular impact. Another principle that is CDA based on, discourse and power are interlinked. They are part and parcel. It means that those in power influence language use. Language can reproduce or challenge power relations. So it can work vice versa. The people in power can influence language and language can challenge power. For example, political leaders framing protest as a rights to legitimize them. How the things are framed to minimize, to incite the public or neutralize the emotion of the public. Another principle that CD is based on, discourse shapes and is shaped by society. Society and discourse are part and parcel, they are interlinked. It means language both reflects existing social structures and can change them. By analyzing or seeing language, you can analyze or see the differences. For example, gender inclusive language, firefighter instead of fireman, challenges old gender roles. These are the words, terms that reflects change. Another principle that CD is based on, ideology is embedded in discourse. So ideology and discourse are part and parcel, they go side by side. Meaning every discourse carries values and assumptions that seem neutral but are socially constructed. There are a lot of things that seem neutral, but they are embedded in the society. They are deeply interlinked with the customs and you can say rituals of particular society. For example, advertisements equating happiness with buying products promote consumerist ideology. Advertising products, these are based on the terms or words used in advertisements are linked with the customs or social practices prevailing in particular society. Another principle that CD is based on is context. Mean discourse must be understood within its culture, historical and situational background. You can't understand or analyze discourse without considering context. So the meaning that particular text produces in particular context is the main important thing. For example, the word freedom means different things in wartime, propaganda versus civil rights movements. Freedom would mean differently when it is used during war, and it would mean differently when a leader of opposition is using this word. Another principle is intertextuality. Means texts draw from and connect to other texts and discourse. So they're interlinked. One text draws meanings from another text. For example, a news headline quoting a famous political speech to frame a current event. One text of a headline referring to another text of a speech. Well, this is a example of intertextuality. Another principle of CD is that CDA is always problem oriented. It always focuses on problem. It focuses on social issues such as inequality, racism, sexism, or injustice. When you are going to analyze some text critically or doing critical discourse analysis, it is bound to focus on some problem, some issue prevailing in society. For example, analyzing media coverage of minority groups to reveal stereotypes. So this is a issue that CDA is going to highlight or investigate. Another principle that CDA is based on is interdisciplinary. Means it draws on different disciplines. For example, linguistics, sociology, political science, cultural studies, and so on. It is not based on only particular one discipline. It is based on multidisciplinary. It is interdisciplinary or cross-disciplinary. For example, studying climate change discourse using linguistics analysis plus environmental policy research. So environmental policy plus linguistic terms both can be used to study critical discourse analysis. If I could sum up the principle that we have discussed in this lecture are that CDA looks beyond words to uncover hidden power, ideology, and equality. So it means that CDA is not limited to the specific words. It doesn't focus on the words or text only. It considers context as well. It asks critical questions: who is speaking, who is silenced, who interests are served, what is meant by saying, who is affected, who are being spotted or opposed or oppressed or marginalized, and who are being favored. So these are the questions that CDA considers. The goal is not just to describe language, but to promote awareness and social change. Like what does discourse? CDA goes a step further and describes language, analyze language to promote awareness and social change. I hope you have understood it. If you have any questions, please write in the comment box. If you are new on the channel, please subscribe the channel. If you get something useful, please like the video and share it. Thank you. Take care. See you next time.